Earlier this week, I ran a 3D print and it printed all the way, but it ended up printing as though it was cotton candy. But let's talk about possible causes here and how to fix this if it's happening on your printer. Sometimes it can just be a fluke, but I tried printing it again and had the same issue.
Here's the thing about this print. So it's actually something my dad asked me to make him. Recently joined this little gun club with his buddies, and I don't really know all the details, but basically he needs something to measure a specific part of his magazine. But because he's got to pull it out in front of all of his rough and tough friends, he's like, please don't make it something like pink or rainbow, like make it a normal color. Now to me, there would have been something so funny about putting it out in hot pink and being like, sorry, that's the only color that the printer allows it to print in.
So just for funsies, I did try running it in pink, but still had the issue. Do note if you're troubleshooting, sometimes you just get a weird spool, so I do like to always try a different one. At this point, it really felt like the issue was a clog, so I bumped up my nozzle temperature pretty high, gave it a quick clean with this wire brush that has seen better days, then grabbed my acupuncture needle to stick inside the nozzle, which I struggled to get in the hole. But after getting up in there, I tried running my nozzle, and while it was pushing out filament, it was still kind of coming out in a weird way. So finally, I had to bring out the big guns or no clogger. If you're on a Bambu printer, I recommend bringing the nozzle all the way to the front so that you can kind of access the hole from the top. Be sure that your nozzle is still hot at this point, and then you gotta push pretty damn hard. But typically at this point, something's gonna pop out of there. I think it was only a partial clog, so it wasn't too bad, but sometimes you'll even get little burnt bits on here. At this point, my printer was working, but if yours is still giving you some issues, some additional areas to check, make sure the gears in the tool head aren't stuck anywhere, make sure there's no tangles or anything holding back your spool, pull out the silicone sleeve on the nozzle to see if any filament's leaking out there.
In the end, we got our clog cleared. I was able to print my piece, and hopefully my dad likes it and does well in his competition.